शारदा शारदां भोजवदना वदनां भुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं कुर्यात्। योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां नलं शरीरस्य च विद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं सर्वं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं पाञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि। सर्वे शान्तरूपेण मोबैल् इत्यादिकं हस्ते धृत्वा उपन्यासं शृण्वन्तु इति प्रार्थ्य
Sit straight for a moment. Keep your back, head, neck straight. Keep your palms on your thighs. Close your eyes. Please close your eyes. Everyone, please close your eyes. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Sit straight, please. Everyone. Breathe 2-3 cycles of breathing slowly, gently. Try to have long breathing cycles. Keep the eyes closed. Inhale deeply and chant one Omkara along with me. One more time. Inhale deeply and chant Omkara. One more time. Inhale deeply and chant Omkara. Slowly open your eyes. Good morning. Namaste to everyone. In my childhood, I had a friend. We would go to school together to the primary level of education. He would stay in his relatives' house, and it was my hometown itself. And in the afternoon, we had a privilege of going to home and having lunch. So he would come to our home to have lunch. So we became close friends, would play always, up to 7th standard. Then he went to his hometown, and I went to a different school for the high school. And we didn't meet only for many years. After so many years, I was still studying in a college. He had stopped studying and he had established a business related to logistics, and he had done a big achievement in that area, had accumulated a huge wealth. He had around 40 to 50 trucks of his own. At that time, he had come to our home once after many years. Generally, we are eager to know like what he would be doing and what would be the salary of him. Generally, we ask, what is the salary? My grandmother asked him, "Yes, sabla kodtare." He said in English only to her. He replied her to in English only. Grandma, for me, the sky is the limit. She didn't understand what does it mean. What does it mean? But I understood that those days he was not on the floors, flying. So then again he went, and I was also proud of him. Then we didn't meet for some years. Recently, I got news that he is no more. Around 4-5 years ago, he had married and he had children, 1 or 2 I think. And again, as I have told, huge property, millionaire. At the age of 32, 33 or 35, he passed away. He had all the rich diseases. You might be knowing which all are called rich diseases. I call them rich diseases because only the rich people, not because only the rich people get them. I call them rich diseases because those diseases make the hospitals and doctors rich. So he had all those diseases. He was involved in accumulating wealth continuously for so many years. Didn't pay attention towards anything else in his life than earning the money. Neglected health and lost his life. Now his wife is struggling to protect that property, what he has left behind, from her in-laws and different people. Even it is not easy for her to enjoy that. For enjoying that, he is no more. So, in our life, what is important? If we just ask this question to ourselves, it is only health which is important. Whatever you achieve, whatever you earn, whatever you get, to enjoy that you need to have good health. Without that, wealth has no meaning. And you all have heard about Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, the billionaire. He had a wish of seeing his daughter, I read somewhere this, he had a wish of seeing his daughter completing class 10 or 12. His big property or wealth could not fulfill that wish. If he had good health, that health could fulfill that wish. See, such a small wish. He could get anything with his money, but this was not possible because he is no more now. He passed away before his daughter passed class 10 or 12, I exactly don't remember, some grade. So, there are millionaires, billionaires, all are there. We are all trained to accumulate wealth through this education. But at the same time, we forget that we have to gain wealth, health also. Without that, nothing has any meaning. That's the reason they say health is wealth. Kalidasa says, Shariram Adhyam Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. To achieve anything in your life, our body has to be strong. Physically, we have to be strong. Health is very important. Mental health is very important. Physical health is important. So, probably thousands of years ago, our ancestors, rishis, munis, had seen the future probably, that the future generation is going to spoil its identity or its health. So, we have to do something for them. Probably in the Vedic era, Vedic age, there was no necessity for anybody to practice something called yoga. Because they were all contentful, happy. They had no any problem. But now the unhealthy lifestyle we are leading is leading us to miseries. That was the reason thousands of years ago rishis have given us something called yoga. Patanjali Maharshi, when Prem Sir was chanting the shloka, has purified our health with his Yoga Sutra, purified our language with his Bhashya of Ashtadhyayi, Bhashya for Ashtadhyayi, purified our physical health with Vaidya Shastra, medicine. Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacha Malam Sharirasya Cha Vaidyakena. See, one single person has done all this. Through his Yoga Sutra, he has explained what yoga is and how should the people practice it to keep ourselves healthy, to lead a meaningful life. So thousands of years ago, he wrote that and gave it to us. Since we all forgot Sanskrit, we stopped studying that. Our previous generation, I am telling. After the invasions took place, we forgot our identity, we forgot our language, we forgot our culture, forgot the language Sanskrit. So we couldn't understand what was written by Patanjali or anyone else. Now we can read and understand that with the help of the translation, but that attempt is also not there. The moment we see Sanskrit shlokas, sutras, we feel it is something beyond our reach, so we can't understand. That way we think. Therefore, though yoga has become very popular now with the effort of some personalities, political leaders, very less people know what exactly yoga is. When it has become business, to popularize that, improve the business, people who are running it use different types of techniques. Some are right, some are wrong. In the name of yoga, many things people do which they should not do. By doing all that, we again lose the hope, trust in this practice. We should know what it is. So I will try to explain what yoga is according to my understanding and experience. That's very important. It's not that whatever I'm telling is not just only the knowledge I have read in some books. I have been practicing yoga every day from so many years. The experience what I have got, so I'm going to share with you, and with the help of that, based on that, I will explain what yoga is. Not some information I have collected from different places. Yes, Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodhaha, Saraswati was telling. These types of sutras we take from those books and we understand what does it mean. Then we proceed, we practice. With complete knowledge, if we practice yoga, there are many people who practice yoga every day, but with the complete knowledge, if we practice yoga, it is going to benefit us. Before we know what is yoga, we need to know what is not yoga. As I told, in the name of yoga, many things are done these days. You can see 3 images. Just observe them. You all know what activities they are. Just observe them. Observe these images also. Observe these images. The images is not that clear. Can anyone say who is that person and who is this person? Can you? Huh? Duryodhana, somebody said. Jalastambhanam. Who might be this? Valmiki Rishi. Very good. I thought I didn't get a better picture. I thought students would not be able to recognize, but you have recognized very well. You know their stories. I need not to tell their stories. Duryodhana hid inside the water for a longer duration. To be inside the water, we humans, if we want to be inside the water for a longer duration or to any time duration, what we are supposed to do? We have to hold our breath. We can't breathe inside. So we are not amphibians, so we can't breathe inside. So we have to hold our breath and sit. Valmiki was sitting for a long duration, for many years, so anthill grew around him. In Sanskrita, Valmika is anthill. Later when he got the realization, he had to break Valmika and come out, so he is called Valmiki. The one who has broken Valmika is Valmiki. So he has got that name because of that. So because he broke Valmika, he is known as Valmiki. And see, for a longer duration, for many years, he sat in one place and he didn't even realize that anthill is growing around him. So what did he do? What was that technique? How could he sit without any distraction for a longer duration? And how could Duryodhana sit inside the water for a longer duration? You all know the story. Bhima comes and scolds him. And it took a long time. Till that time he was there inside the water. Now you tell me, the previous images and this, among these, which is yoga and which is not yoga? Can anyone tell? The first one, can you consider that yoga, the left side? No. Other two images, one lady is lying and the other one is balancing his body posture on the feet of her, and other person is doing some physical activity. Here weightlifting is happening, and here some people are hanging with the help of clothes, ropes. No, this is not yoga. This is not yogasana. This is not yoga. This is a physical trick or exercise, that's it. Why can't we call this yoga, and why can call these two activities yoga? We will understand. We can consider Duryodhana sitting under the water a yogic action or activity, practice. Valmiki sitting in one place for a longer duration can be considered a practice of yoga, but the previous ones are not. Because Patanjali only said, Sthira Sukham Asanam. Yogasana is a posture where we are stable and we are comfortable. Comfortable and stable. Okay, they are balancing, so they are stable, you might be thinking. But again, whether they are comfortable with that posture, that we have to think. Mind should be connected with our physical action when the yoga practice is done. Now let's try to understand what yoga is and how it is explained in our scriptures. Bhagavad Gita says, Yoga Karmasu Kaushalam. There are many definitions of yoga in Bhagavad Gita. Our entire Bhagavad Gita explains what yoga is. Arjuna Sannyasa Yoga, Karma Yoga. Every chapter is named after the word yoga. So, entire Bhagavad Gita explains it. But if we take one as an example, being skillful, having skill in our works can be called yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Bhagavad Gita only says. Equality is yoga. We need to have that in our mind. We have to balance our mind. Samatva is called yoga. Tam yogam iti manyante sthiram indriya dharanam, Kathopanishad says. As I had told, it was not only Patanjali who had given the technique of yoga to us, it was already there in our Vedic literature, Vedas. It was already there in our Upanishads. Extract of Upanishad is Bhagavad Gita, all of you know. Sarva Upanishado Gavo, Dogdha Gopalanandanaha. So he has taken the extract of Upanishad, Krishna, and given that to us as Bhagavad Gita. So, Upanishads say this, controlling, holding our sense organs. In simple words, it has the deeper meaning. In simple words, we can understand that having the control on our sense organs is called yoga. Manah prashamanopayaha yoga ityabhidiyate, yoga vasishtha. Cooling down our mind can be called yoga. Always we are stressed, worried, anxious for one or the other reason. Always. These days students are more stressed than the elders. Because you have to prove the world that you are best. You have to prove. There is a comparison always. So many parameters are there. To meet that you are all getting stressed. Everyone in this world is stressed these days. Most of the people I am telling. So we need some technique tool to cool down our mind. Yoga can do that. So these are the some definitions. With the help of these definitions, we can understand that yoga is something related to our mind, not only related to our physical body. Some examples are there. In Bhagavad Gita, there is an example. In the first shloka, Krishna says, I will give you a chakshu eye. With the help of that, you can see my huge form. To Arjuna he says. So there is a technique explained there. With the help of that technique, Arjuna is capable of seeing Krishna's real form. What technique is that? It is also a technique of yoga. In the Shveta Shvatara they say, when you are practicing yoga, what happens to you? You can read that easily. So these are all explained in our ancient scriptures, which are written thousands of years ago, or lakhs of years ago, we can even say. With the help of all this, now presently the Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, what we have, with the help of that, if we practice yoga, we get a lot of benefits. Again, main benefit is our health. Health will improve, mental and physical both, which is required for each and every person now, because the lifestyle is completely spoiled or influenced by so many things which are not good. People don't eat food on time. People don't go to bed on time. People don't get up in the morning on time. Everything is leading us to miseries, sickness, lot of issues, social, mental, physical, lot of issues. As I had told, with the complete understanding, if we practice, yoga will benefit us a lot. Here are some images, you see some personalities. You might be knowing some of them. Swami Vivekananda. Within the age of 39, the achievement what he has done, we all know about that, we all are aware of that. Our Prime Minister, in this age also how active he is. He never fell sick, or we haven't heard about that. From past 10 years we have been seeing him as Prime Minister. Before that also we were following him. We haven't heard a single news also so far that Prime Minister is not well. That way we didn't hear. Almost all the people who were infected with COVID, at least at that time, media was following all the personalities to find out whether that person is affected by COVID or this person is affected by COVID. But we didn't read any news about our Prime Minister falling sick. Baba Ramdev, you might have seen his videos or programs. And this person is from Kashi or Varanasi, an elderly person, 100 years old or 110 years old they say, but has crossed the 100th year, teaches yoga. This lady also is considered as the oldest yoga teacher or instructor, still teaches yoga. Above 100 years. And this person, the third picture, was one of my gurus in the yoga training center. He was a principal in a college. He had overcome the health issues he had. The biggest one was the obesity. he had overcome, and now he goes to abroad sometimes to teach yoga or conduct some seminars, and wherever there is a program of yoga, he attends it. That active. I have seen him walking from Allalsandra till Elanka New Town many times. Just to have a walk. Around 75, 80 years old. By seeing all these people, general benefits of yoga we definitely can understand. It makes us lively, happy, contentful, healthy, and mentally strong. We will develop a confidence in us by the practice of that. See, in future, the future is very closer. You all will go to work in some company, or you only will establish your own company or business or anything. Give half an hour a day for the practice of yoga, and it will make your life perfect. From past 6-7 years, through the regular practice of yoga, I have experienced that. Now I can stand before and speak to you without any stage fear or anything. Yoga is also one of the reasons for that. As I have told, after understanding what yoga is, we need to practice, because now there are places everywhere who teach yoga asana, what they teach, and how we have to practice. All that we need to know, we need to understand. Otherwise, there will be either no use of practicing without the proper knowledge if we are practicing, or there will be negative effects also. As I had told, shown on picture, in that with the help of rope, clothes, they are practicing it. It is completely against Ashtanga, against to Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. Yoga asana, he says, Sthira Sukham asanam, it has to be comfortable and effortlessly we have to be stable in one's position. So if you use some external tool, it will make you definitely uncomfortable because it pushes you to some direction. Only the visibility you get, nothing else. So with the proper knowledge we have to practice. You have heard the word Ashtanga Yoga. 8 limbs of yoga as introduced or explained by Patanjali Maharshi is called Ashtanga Yoga, Ashtanga. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Many yoga centers tell that they teach Ashtanga. You might have heard or read in the website somewhere, advertisements. We teach Ashtanga Yoga. We are following Patanjali and we are teaching Ashtanga Yoga. Do they really teach? What do you do when you go to a yoga class in any center? You do prayer probably, practice some exercises, practice some asana, Surya Namaskara, pranayama techniques. In some places, they may make you practice some advanced poses. Though your body opposes it, they will push you down, stand on your back, all that do and make you practice something. That's it. Where are the 8 limbs? Which are Ashtanga? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama. Where is Yama? Where is Niyama? What it is? We also don't ask and they also don't explain, but they tell the world that they are teaching Ashtanga Yoga. Now we will understand what Ashtanga Yoga means. What is Yamaha? First one. Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Aryama. It is not the Yama who is the god of death. No. Yamaha, Sanyamaha, according to the definition given by Patanjali, is this. Ahimsa, non-violence. Externally, internally. We should not harm anyone. Definitely we all know that. Physically, mentally, both. By cheating someone, by talking harsh to someone, by showing cunningness, backstabbing, all these activities make others feel sad. That is also a kind of himsa. It's not that if you go and slap someone, it is called himsa, and if you are quietly cheating that person, it is not himsa. No. So ahimsa is not just the physical ahimsa, mental ahimsa also we have to practice. This is also yoga. If you don't practice this, and if you go and practice sarvangasana, or that asana, this asana, then you are not yogis. In which sense it is yoga? You have to be having ahimsa. Satya, truthful. We all have to be truthful to ourselves. First, we have to be truthful to ourselves. Before going to the examination hall itself, it is decided that today I am going to copy from that person. Pre-programmed already, pre-planned. Where is truth? We have to be truthful to ourselves. Asteya, non-stealing. Again, this is not stealing some materialistic thing from someone. We should not even think of taking someone's achievement in our name and getting name. Someone else studies and comes and you write that person's answer, that is also stealing only. Asteya. Brahmacharya. When you are studying, you have to be completely concentrating on your study only. Or if you are doing some work, at that time you have to be concentrating on that work only. That kind of dedication should be there. Aparigraha. Don't even think of possessing others' wealth. These days we read in newspapers, children killing their parents for the property. Nonsense it is. Earlier it was different probably. Now at least don't even know about the importance of parents. What that piece of land or house or something will do for that person, even he will be dead one day. For that, they kill people. Aparigraha we have to practice. We should not even think about possessing others' wealth. If we practice this every day, this is completely, see, it is not physical, completely mental this is. Not physical at all. We just have to practice this. To practice Yama, the first limb of yoga, one of the anga of yoga, you need not to go to any yoga center. Or you need not to spend any additional time. You just have to keep practicing every day, that's it. Second one is Niyama. Shaucha, Santosha, Tapaha, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. Purity, cleanliness, mentally and physically. We have to be clean. Should not have any evil thoughts in our mind. So that has to be practiced. Santosha. If you are happy with your mind or whatever you have with you, satisfied, you are considered rich. Manasicha paritushte korthavan kodaridraha. There is no difference between rich man and poor man. If you are happy with your mind, satisfied with what you have, that is santosha. Tapas, hard work, continuously, with complete dedication, is called tapas. It is not sitting in one posture and chanting some mantra is called tapas. Not only that, anything you do, with complete dedication, if you do, that is called tapas. Adhyayana is an action of tapas. Swadhyaya, self-study. Don't rely only on the materials given by others or researches done by others. books written by others. You do yourself, you do research. You people do case study, I think. No? That kind of research should be done. You yourselves have to do. That is called self-study. Ishvara Pranidhanam. We have to surrender to the Almighty with complete dedication. We have to have a sense that we are not the doer of any action. Creator, doer is someone else. We are just the tools. Through us, someone else is doing activities. That sense we should have. That way we have to surrender to the Almighty. Ishvara Pranidhanam. This is niyama. See, yama and niyama. We have to practice. After you practice these two, you are eligible to practice the third one, that is asana. Everywhere in the name of yoga, asana and pranayama, only two limbs are practiced. They call it Ashtanga Yoga, but asana and pranayama, only two angas. It is not Ashtanga, it is Dvyanga Yoga. Only two angas are practiced. To become eligible to practice asana, first two we have to practice on our own. With that sense, if you go to practice asanas, then you are the real yogi. You are eligible. Recently, one yoga instructor in Yadamuka killed his girlfriend. They both were practicing together and they were running a center also. One of my colleagues also was going to his center. Very advanced asanas, physically good looking. 6 packs, 8 packs, all that he had. Attractive personality. And all the difficult asanas he was able to practice. All the difficult asanas he was able to practice. But he couldn't control his anger, his emotions. He took that extreme decision of killing someone. How can a yogi go to that extent? If you practice yoga in its real meaning, you will not definitely even think of harming anyone, because ahimsa is the first tool. Ahimsa is the first one. Ahimsa, satya, asteya. If you are practicing that, you can't take that step at all. And I was telling, asana is something which has to be, which is a posture, should be stable and comfortable. And that posture should not be attained through aggression, but should be effortless. Once we accomplish this, we are ready for the next step. Effortlessly, with some rope or external support, 2-3 people together, push you down, lift you up. If you do all that, it is not called asana. Sthira Sukham Asana. Sthira Sukham Asana. Comfortable and stable pose is called yoga. All the Surya Namaskara poses, for example, I am giving, all the asanas you practice, Padahastasana, Urdhva any asana, Sarvanga Asana, all are asanas only. Patanjali explained asanas in 3 sutras, done. In the entire Yoga Sutra book, he gave importance of only 3 sutras for asana, because it is not only called yoga. In the Ashtanga Yoga, it has a small contribution. Yes, we can sit in one pose and meditate or concentrate our mind. It has to be very comfortable to us. That was the reason I told that those 2-3 images where they were practicing some activities with rope, cloth, all that can't be considered yoga. After that, the fourth limb, fourth anga is pranayama. Pranayama is practiced along with asanas and refers to breath control. Many types of pranayamas are described. Different types of control of breath is explained. Duryodhana controlled his breath and sat under the water for a long duration can be considered one of the type of pranayama. Kumbhaka, we can say, holding our breath. Different techniques are there. So that can be considered an action of yoga. Omkara we chanted in the beginning. We took a long breath and chanted 3 times Omkara. It can be practiced regularly. Is also related with pranayama. Asana and pranayama go side by side. When you are practicing asanas, you have to have the control on your breath. Instructors say that exhale and bend forward, inhale and bend backward. So that control on breath or practicing that is very important. That is also pranayama. It's not that only some of the names, Nadi Shuddhi pranayama, that this what we say is called pranayama. Anytime it can be practiced. This is the 4th link. These 4 are called Bahiranga Yoga, external yoga. Everyone can practice. Everyone can practice. Practicing Yama and Niyama, as I've told, it doesn't require any special effort. You just have to be truthful to yourself and you have to be conscious about yourself. I will not lie, I will not steal, I will not be harmful. Enough. So you can, through practice, you definitely have to achieve that. And going to some center or taking the help of some person, you can definitely practice asana and pranayama also with complete concentration can be practiced by everyone. But the next 4 are called Antaranga Yoga. Once you achieve this in its true manner, then next 4 can be achieved. Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Definitions are there given by Patanjali in his Yoga Sutra. Pratyahara is, in simple words, we can call withdrawal of senses. We have to keep ourselves away from the worldly pleasures. We should not allow our sense organs to get attracted towards the materialistic thing. Dharana, Dhyana, and the last one is Samadhi. Valmiki was sitting there and he didn't even realize that ant was growing around him. It is Samadhi. Ramana Maharshi was sitting in Samadhi in Arunachala mountain. He didn't even realize that the 75% of his body was eaten by ants or different insects. Later, down in Arunachaleshwara temple area, another yogi told his disciples to go and bring him down because we need him for the world. Then when they went to bring him, what is there to bring? But he was still in Samadhi. Physical body is gone, almost. Then it is said that with some technique they made him again physically capable of walking, all that. That is called Samadhi. So many rishis, yogis, Paramahamsa, Vivekananda, Shankaracharya, all these were practicing this. But Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, if we have to achieve, we need complete practice of first 4 limbs. They say we teach Ashtanga Yoga. How do they teach? It is not possible at all. Only Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama can be taught. So with that knowledge that I am practicing Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, we have to practice Yogasana. We should not lie to ourselves saying that I am practicing Ashtanga Yoga. Not possible. So this knowledge we should have. Again, to practice Asana and Pranayama, also you have to practice Yama and Niyama first. For Yama and Niyama, Patanjali gave more space in his book than Asana and Pranayama. He explains what is Satya, what is Ahimsa, what is Shaucha, everything in detail in Yoga Sutra. Yoga Sutra of Patanjali is available everywhere. Translations are available in every language. people who practice yoga, please read. Please read that and then practice. Then it will give you the proper benefit. Who all had practiced this before us? If we see, Jaggi Vasudev says Shiva is Adi Yogi. But according to me, Krishna is the Adi Yogi. Okay, in a spiritual manner, you can call Shiva the Yogi because he is supreme. But Krishna lived between us as a yogi in his Bhagavad Gita or in his teachings, which were documented by Vedavyasa later. He explains what yoga is. He lived that life. See the difference. Krishna lived a normal life. Had wife, children, all. Regular life it is. Lived as a king, warrior, but he was a yogi. He gives the example of some personalities also. Karmanaivahisam siddhim astitaha janakadayaha. Gives the example of Janaka Maharaja, who lived like a yogi and achieved through his actions. So they are all yogis. It's not that to become a yogi, you have to leave everything. Being in this world, you can practice. He is an example for that. He showed it to the world. Any achievement Krishna had done, it is not a magic in his childhood or later. It is from his yoga shakti. We always fail to understand our scriptures or our history, historical books, Puranas, all that. We think they have done some magic. No, nothing was done as a magic. It was the achievement he had through his yoga power. Patanjali wrote Yoga Sutra. We have studied about him. He told yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Chitta is mind. Having control on the activities of our mind is called yoga, he has told. That is basic. If you don't have self-control, I told about some person killing others. If you don't have chitta vritti nirodha only, how can you practice yoga? It is not possible. Adi Shankaracharya had even done Parakaya Pravesha. You might have heard about that. He had left his body and entered someone else's body. That also is a yogic practice. Visible, invisible, so many. They would go to Samadhi and sit for hours or days. That all they would do with the help of that. The external achievement also, which can be visible to us, they all had done and shown us. Swami Vivekananda. Recently I read one incident about him. When he was 39 years old, in his ashrama, one day he called his disciple Nivedita and served food to her, he only. And later, after she completed eating the food, he only washed her hands. Then she started crying. She related this incident with the incident happened with Jesus once. Jesus had washed the feet of his disciples a day before he was killed. He was dead. She related this incident with that and she became emotional. Because Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had told Vivekananda's gurus earlier, after completing his achievement, Vivekananda will not stay in his body for a moment also. He will go, he will leave his physical body. Paramahamsa had told long back, many years back. So she remembered even that. She became emotional. What is happening? Why Vivekananda is doing this? Then next day morning he woke up on time as usual and finished his morning rituals. Went to the temple inside and locked the door. Stayed inside the temple for hours, 2-3 hours continuously. What was happening inside nobody knew. He came out after that, had lunch. In the afternoon he called his disciples, some of the disciples, and taught them Sanskrit grammar. You must be knowing, he wrote so many things in Sanskrit, so many shlokas, so many works. He taught them Sanskrit grammar in the afternoon and went to bed to take rest. Then he called one of the disciples, "I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable, please grow wind." That's it. Next 2-3 moments he was not there. Completely healthy. Many people say so many things about him. Nothing was like that. He was completely healthy. He had just left his body. Same day in Chennai somewhere, in another ashrama, one of the disciples, Ramakrishna ashrama, was sitting inside the room. Same day, same time it is. He heard that someone is knocking the door. And he heard the voice of Narendra, that is Vivekananda. He called that person and said that I have left my body. How it is possible for any common person? These all are documented. So he knew that when he has to die, he had lot of problems in the family. His father passed away when he was in the college. He had to take care of his family. But again, how did he manage all that and did so much? So that is the Lakshana of a yogi. So how does yoga heal us if we are sick or something? In brief, if we try to understand that. Diseases are of two types, Adhija, Anadhija. Vyadhi is disease, physical disease. So psychosomatic alignments. So that is Adhija Vyadhi. Infections and all that is Anadhija Vyadhi. Understanding this through the activities of yoga like pranayama and different, on its own, it will treat our mind only, the root cause of the disease, and disease will go off. So, some definitions are there here, you can go through the slides. There is something called Upadhi also. Practice of yoga in its true manner will help us to get rid of all the diseases we have, external, internal, everything, and all the problems, mental problems we have. Now, with the help of the knowledge we have gained so far, we have to remember before we start the practice of yoga that health is important than everything for us. Physical exercise and yoga are different. We should be aware of it. In our yoga center where I have learned, before me, one person was trained to teach yoga. He was a police officer, and till he got retired, he hadn't practiced yoga. He was thinking, he had only told in one of the sessions, he was thinking like, in the police training or regular training, we do a lot of physical activities. We run for kilometers and physically fit, strong. Why do we need yoga? That was his attitude at that time. We don't require because we generally get the training of it. But he said after he got retired, he just by chance joined this center, and that center he had joined and he had practiced, and he was telling completely different it is. He repented, like why he had not practiced that. His name was Chalapati, and he was the one who had cracked the Bhupaliya gang. So that was the person. He had explained it. So, practicing yogasana with external materials is wrong. Sthiram Sukham Asanam, remember always that when you are practicing. Ability to perform asanas differ from person to person. See, one person is, X person is practicing some asana and you are not able to do that. Don't feel bad, sad, because your physical structure is different. You may achieve that slowly, or you may not be able to achieve that at all, but don't repent. Seeing other person, if you force yourself, you will be harmed. Don't do that. Comfortably, whichever is possible for you, while practicing asanas especially, we have to remember to practice. And practice yoga for your self-benefits, not for others or not for visibility. To show the world that I am a great yogi, I can perform so many asanas. No. For yourself, you have to practice. Again, yama and niyama will vanish if you have that sense in your mind. That I have to show the world that I am a great yogi. No. That should not be there. We have to be selfless. Remembering all this, we have to be involved in the practice of yoga. Hope all of you have got some information, and hope some of you will get motivated to start the practice of yoga if you have not started. If you have started, hopefully you will all practice with true meaning.